Good morning, guys, and welcome to the video. So today, the infamous day has come. I'm moving from my house, which is why I'm walking through it, because I don't really care if you guys see it now. I don't live here anymore, but previous owners came in, we were renting, so they're taking care of some stuff in here. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the trailer. I got all my worldly possessions all plugged in, and it's gonna be a fun drive. So it's gonna be 775 miles. I want to take you guys along for the journey. First things first, pick up the trailer. We're gonna go get it weighed and see how much it weighs real quick. I have a before weight and you get an after, and then we'll be on our way. So this is kind of gonna document how the Chevy Avalanche pulls, however much weight we're about to pull. It'll be in the title, and how it does over long distance. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. So as you can see, here's Big Bertha herself, the old little trailer. The mudslide's getting warmed up, but it's a frigid day out, that's for sure. Snowed here in NC the other day, but we're gonna go ahead and hook everything up. Alrighty, boys, just about there. Woo, here's a heavy load. Well, there she is, all hooked up. Definitely got some lean to her, but a lot of that's because the hitch drops so low. However, well, it doesn't drop low enough. However, I'll adjust my chains real quick. I bottomed out my thing with the block right there when I was trying to pull it down, so I definitely need to readjust the weight distribution hitch once we get it straightened out. Alright, so we just made it to the dump. Go ahead and get our weight and then do some math real quick to see how much we're towing. After that, we'll be on our way. Alright, so we're just gonna head got everything weighed. So our full weight is 15,100 pounds, which is kind of a lot. The car, when I towed that down last week, was 14.2, I believe. I have that weight ticket, I'll check in a minute. And our empty weight is 6,100 pounds with just the truck, 9,400 pounds with truck and trailer. So we're gonna go ahead and subtract real quick and see how big our hauls are. All right, so after doing some quick math, looks like we're towing roughly 8,900 pounds, trailer included in that weight. So we're a little bit over the max for this truck, which is about 8,000, give or take a little bit. So we'll take it slow, and we should be good. 775 miles to go, so it's going to be a definite trek. Last time I did this, I averaged about 8 miles a gallon, and that was with the car in the back. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with this. I suspect it's going to be around the same. Coming back up from Florida, it was about 8 miles as well, and that was empty. So I think it's more the shape of the trailer due to anything else than where this weight's coming from. But yeah, guys, so I'm just gonna update you as we go down. Last time we got 2 flats. Let's hope we don't do that again. Nails, one in the truck tire, one in the trailer. That was garbage. So hopefully nothing crazy happens, and if it does, you'll find out about it. So ETA is around, let's see, it's in 9 o'clock now. It'll be around probably about 10 or 11 by the time I get there, going 60, 65, 70 at the max, but I doubt I'm gonna be going that fast with this much weight. But yeah, guys, I'll see you probably at the first gas stop. So, see you in a bit. Well, here we are, most certainly in the mountains. We got, as you can see, I'm in third gear, just kind of hanging out, but it's literally wide open throttle and still barely maintaining about 60 miles an hour. So once you get to the top, you get back up to about 70 again. However, trans temps, everything like that staying good. So it is only 54 degrees out, so that very well may change, but yeah, there we go. And now that we're cresting the hill, we'll start to get back up to our normal speed and go back into overdrive. So that's pretty much how this whole trip has been so far. Nothing too crazy. Well, that's kind of crazy. Got someone pulled over for something over there. Yeah, guys, all in all, it's going pretty good. Definitely a huge help to have the tow mirrors out. They're fully extended and give me plenty of visibility. I'm getting around, well, in these I'm only getting like 5 miles to the gallon going up hills like this, but it averages around to around 8 still. I just did one fill up a while ago. I'm about 200 miles into this trip, a little further. But yeah, so I think this is for sure about the limits of where this avalanche or where I'm going to plan on towing stuff. Like, I mean, trailer and load is roughly around 800 to 900 pounds, which is probably it's over by about 900 pounds of where I should be at. However, I don't have much of a choice because I do have to move, so it is what it is. Just taking it easy and not having any problems. Yeah, guys, so far so good, nothing crazy. So I wound up leaving the wheel spacers on that I was talking about a couple videos ago. I don't know if you watched them or not. So the 2-inch spacers from ECCP or something like that. I'll throw the link down in the description below. But I mean, for towing what they're towing, like, I haven't noticed any issues with them. I'll inspect them once I get to the end location. But I was looking at some other stuff out of it. There's aluminum, but not like a steel spacer or anything like that. However, they've been doing solid. So for a 2500, I can definitely see avoiding aluminum, but for a 1500, and I mean, maxing out what a 1500 can really do, let alone one with 200,000 miles on it, I think it's doing pretty solid. So while I'm sitting here bored out of my mind, because I've got like 8 hours left to go on this drive, I figured I'd throw out some plans of what I want to do with this truck. So what it's doing right now is primarily why I got it was to tow stuff. I didn't anticipate towing a 20-foot trailer when I got it. I was anticipating towing my car and the boat back when I had it. However, that's not the case anymore. So I think what I'm going to do with the truck is, as you're seeing, like, it's kind of struggling up the hills a little bit. This is a heavier load, but even then it's not been doing too hot. So it's got a shit ton of miles on it. It's at like 255,000, probably a little more by the end of this trip. It seems like it never goes up, but it's because it's about 20,000 miles over what the odometer says, which is 231, because the previous owner took off about 20,000 miles off of it. So I just got to add 20,000 to it. So I guess in that case we're closer to the 260. Anyway, we are getting up there in the mileage. The truck has been doing pretty solid, but again, like anything, I mean, it is getting up there. It's 5.3, nothing too crazy. So I'm coming up to a couple crossroads up ahead. So the main shortage with this truck is the 4L60E transmission is known to be pretty weak. I've had excellent luck with it. The transcooler, I believe, is really to blame for that. It's sitting at like 140 right now, and I'm doing this is about the hardest it's going to work. And that's awesome compared to around over 200 where it was back with the stock cooler. So I think the plan for this truck, so I still want to do a few cosmetic and comfort things, seat cushion, random stuff like that. But overall power wise, I want more power out of this thing because it has 285 from the factory to the crank, which is kind of garbage for something like this, but it's still doing it. So the overall plan, I want to do a single turbo setup. I was thinking about twins, however, I don't think I'm going to ever utilize the full twin setup. So I want to do a stock rebuild on the motor, and then do a single setup. I only want to run maybe about 5 pounds at most. These motors respond super well to boost, so no cam, nothing crazy, just add the boost on there. That's all it needs. And the idea is to be around 450 to the wheels would be optimal. So about double the power of this truck. Maybe 500, it depends how the torque reads out. If it reads up higher on the torque numbers, then no. My torque limit for the trans I want to get, so it's a monster transmission. It's I guess their stage 1, I guess. I don't really know where their stages fall. But it's rated to 500 horsepower at the flywheel and 450 torque at the flywheel. So as long as I stay under those parameters for engine power, which is absolutely doable on a stock 5.3, I want to go with their trans. And then it's a monster trans. I'm going to need a fuel system, and then meaning a pump and injectors. And then the single turbo setup after a stock rebuild on the motor. And I think that'll pretty much round out this truck for what I need to do with it, which is mild towing, car vehicle towing to events, which I want to do a crap ton more soon if possible. I don't want to get the experience of how to build a motor. So that's the plan for the truck, and hopefully I'm going to be kind of disposed these next 6 months, because the whole reason I'm moving is for work, and it's going to be kind of a hectic 6 months, and then after that I should be moving somewhere else for more steady. So after that 6 months, I'll probably start compiling parts during, but afterwards I'm going to be pulling the motor on this thing and doing a stock rebuild. I'm going to be doing the trans, fuel upgrades, I'm gonna probably switch to an electric fan system, bigger radiator, and then obviously tuning is gonna have to happen. And once all that's done, then I'll start working on getting the turbo kit installed. I might do the turbo with the stock rebuild, now that I think about it though, because the stock rebuild kit comes with 2 new manifolds, and I'll throw a picture of how the kit looks on here. It's just the eBay kit, but all I need is the hot side. I'm going to go with a more quality turbo than what comes with that thing. So I'm just getting the hot side piping together, and then I'll get some cold side afterwards. Yeah, all in all, guys, I think it's going to be a pretty sweet setup. The Avalanche is pretty much where I want it, power-wise, or cosmetically, and amenities, so it has all the little gizmos that I enjoy about it. I mean, there's still small stuff I'm going to do here and there, but for towing purposes, like, until I can flat out afford to buy a 2500 with cash, I want to get a newer one, then this is going to be my truck for at least the next probably 5 years, if not longer. So, figured I'd share the thoughts while I'm sitting here bored. You're probably not so bored if you're watching this. Hopefully you have more to do than I do. But yeah, I'm going to check in with you guys probably the next fuel fill up and see how everything's doing. So far so good. I'm just kind of hanging out, and I guess this is the trucker life. But all in all, pretty solid. I enjoy this truck. Well, got about 75 miles to go. Obviously we're getting gas. This is our last stop to get gas. I've gotten it, I think, 4 other times. So getting about 200-ish miles to the tank, a little bit less with this much weight. That's what I was getting last round, just the Shelby. Hey guys, so far so good, nothing crazy. I did have a question for any of you guys that run a 5.3. You ever notice your oil pressure drop like as it gets late in the oil change cycle? So mine usually runs above 40. It's finally dropped just a hair below it. I've noticed it pretty much consistently between oil changes. Just it'll start dropping slowly. So I don't know, something weird. After I change the oil, it goes back up again. But yeah, all in all, not too bad. So let's check out the trailer. As you can see, clearly have just a little bit of a lean going on, but I need to get some airbags. I'm going to explain something real quick as to why that is. So the trailer is actually even with the hitch, which is what it's supposed to do with the weight distribution. The problem is my weight distribution doesn't go down far enough. It's only about, I need about a 6-inch drop, which would put the bottom of this hitch around here. And in turn, that would raise up the suspension because it would be keeping it even. However, I've only got about a 2-inch drop on here, maybe even less. So the trailer sits even, which is what it's supposed to do. But that's kind of the reason why there's so much of a drop on it. So between getting airbags and getting a proper hitch that's a little bit lower, and that'll drop it the proper 6 inches, I think that'll fix a lot of my squat issues. But yeah. Join now and get a $35 BJ's gift card. Just sucking it down. 17 gallons, got about 8 more to go. Well, boys, arrived at the destination. As you can see, well, maybe you can't see, but there's the Shelby. Already brought it down the other week. Hanging out, still in good shape. Need to get things back in the trailer because I don't have a garage here. It's kind of some bullshit, but whatever. There's our rig. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this thing around and back it into where I need it to go. But yeah, made it in one piece. So my steering wheel shaft literally just broke. Like, you've got to be kidding me. So that just happened. We're gonna get that fixed real quick. Alrighty guys, so now's the next day. I want to explain that last clip a little bit. So first, don't think I don't understand the gravity of what just happened. Like, I was literally pulling in. I've just completed this pretty much 800-mile drive at this point, including stops and everything else. And I pull in, and I go to back up the trailer. And as soon as I turn the wheel, all of a sudden I hear a small little pop, and it goes loose, limp. There is no input whatsoever. I was stopped in the parking lot when that happened. That very well could have happened on the highway, and I'd probably be dead. I'm not even kidding. Like, I'd have completely lost steering. When you brake in this truck with a trailer, it doesn't brake perfectly straight. It would have gone one way or the other. So that was seriously concerning. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what happened, but like, just that's wild, and I'm not okay with that. So I definitely need to go over this truck with a fine-tooth comb before I do anything else with it. But like, that's something, I mean, I would have never checked that, to be honest. So let's go ahead and look and show you what happened. All right, so what happened is, this is my steering shaft right here. Runs down right through there. And where it hooks up right there, that joint right there, there's a single bolt. You can't see it at this angle, but there's a single bolt that clamps the joint around that shaft right there. And that goes into the steering box, which is right there. And what happened was that bolt either wasn't torqued down properly, either there was a replacement steering shaft, or something, it just backed its way out over time. But that whole shaft literally just slipped right off, and there was no input from the steering wheel all of a sudden, which is terrifying. So I have to thank God that nothing bad happened on this trip, but that was insane. So I had to go over this truck one more time before I do any more towing with it, but that's just, wow. So anyway, guys, that pretty much sums up this little towing adventure. Except for that one issue, the truck towed fine. I went up a pretty decent amount of hills. There's a good amount of hills going through South Carolina to Georgia area and Alabama, because it cuts pretty far, my route anyway, cut pretty far west into a little bit of the Appalachians. All in all, though, for 1,500 towing at its max capacity, so this load was 8,900 pounds. It's maxed out around 8,000. Is it optimal? No. I'd prefer the diesel, but it's definitely doable. So, I mean, you take your precautions. The steering thing is something I couldn't have done. I got this truck aligned twice before I left, because I was working on every single component, did tie rods, did lower ball joints, like everything I could think of to make sure that suspension-wise this truck was solid, and that's what happens. So, just got to count your lucky stars at that point. Other than that, I'm probably going to come out with a video. If you guys want to see it, let me know, of like prepping, everything to do to really prep your truck. But screw it, I'll just tell you in this one real quick. It comes down to make sure your maintenance is up to date. I'd have liked to get airbags, but I didn't have airbags. So weight distribution hitch, again, it was squatting pretty bad, but it wasn't the worst in the world. It wasn't, I've seen it squat a little bit worse with that camper. However, that was with no weight distribution hitch when it actually touched the bump stops. But again, if I had a deeper weight distribution hitch, it probably wouldn't have squatted nearly as bad, because it wouldn't have had to lift up the front end of the trailer. So this is all stuff that I'm learning from, and I'm going to be upgrading before I tow this, this much weight again, which I'm probably going to have to in about 6 months now. Also, my change oil light came on, so that was to be expected when I was talking about oil pressure the other day. I'm positive it'll jump right back up to where it was as soon as I change the oil. For whatever reason, whenever it gets right towards the end of its life, it likes to drop just a little bit. Kind of weird. I don't know why. It is what it is. Other than that, guys, I mean, that's pretty much it. So I made it. Nothing crazy happened except for that, which was really concerning. The old 5.3 Vortec, she's putting in work. Definitely putting in work, but she did good. So no knocks, no weird noises. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll be sure to get back to you. At this point, I'm starting to get pretty proficient towing with this thing, and it's doing good. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.